Newsbrief, Nintendo's next big name, smartphone offering, Mario Kart Tour, has been delayed. The mobile title was scheduled to release during the current fiscal year, ending in March, but will now launch a few months later in the summer of 2019. Writing in its latest fiscal report, Nintendo claims it wants to improve the quality of the application and expand its post-launch content lineup. In the meantime, it will continue to focus on supporting its existing mobile roster, which includes familiar names like Dragalia Lost Animal Crossing, Pocket Camp, Fire Emblem Heroes, and Super Mario Run. Newsbrief, Square Enix has trademarked the name of Octopath Traveler, that's IA2D, graphical style in Europe, as reported by Gematsu. The Japanese developer-publisher has trademarked the terms IA2D and IA2D. The company has used both to describe the Switch RPG's unique art style, which combines 16-bit character sprites and textures with polygonal 3D environments and high-definition effects. It's an interesting move, and one that suggests Square has plans to use the phrase "game in the future" to describe another Octopath title, or perhaps even a new franchise that employs the same graphical style. I have always been interested in telling stories about connection to land, to a person, to a thing, even to a point in time, says Katie Stegs of the Blushbox Collective, a group promoting the exploration of intimacy, love, and sex in games. Exploring connection is the focus of so many areas of creativity, especially film, art, and music, but much less so video games. Why is that? I ask myself. Games possess a unique power to place the player into a different headspace, having them become the role of another for a time. There is a special power to empathize in this, tasking the player with feeling what that other person is going through as they go through their actions and live out their lives. Like a form of acting, the player becomes this other avatar, and exists as them for a time, and in this action, they are brought into intimate connection with the thoughts and feelings that come from living these lives. This unique ability to live and empathize with, more so than books or movies, or other forms of passive media, can make the player truly feel what the characters are going through. Stegs work with the Blushbox Collective, as well as their annual Heartbeat Symposium 3-day event, where they seek to bring developers together for days of game jams and speakers from various disciplines, working in love and intimacy looks to capture and explore that connection. I think there is something powerful about the perspective opportunities you have in video games, says Stegs. You can play with how inside the character a player is, give them agency and put them in the shoes of someone different from themselves. There is so much opportunity to capture the nuance, silliness, fun, excitement, and heartbreak through games, and I want to explore how more games could contain those moments. Games, through their ability to connect a person to another life, they have been underutilized for years in placing players in more realistic, emotional experiences, but that has begun to change. Still, why explore these kinds of connections? Because how long? It's fun. Stegs, sex, romance, love, these are universal desires for everyone. Games can also allow us to play, observe and process some pretty complicated issues, or partake in light-hearted fantasy for fun. It's such a diverse topic that there are many reasons to explore it. Games in particular are an interesting way to explore these topics, because you can engage more senses than reading a film. You can see, you can hear, you can feel and touch, and in some cases, with old controllers, you can also taste. Stegs continues. That's a bit more senses being engaged than with music. art film. How can we manipulate these senses to create a new experience for these stories? That's what I want to know. It's a largely intact part of what games are uniquely capable of, and for Stegs, something that offers some interesting opportunities to explore our emotions and feelings on challenging issues in a space outside of the self. They allow for a safe self-reflection on actions we might not otherwise experience or be afraid to experience, allowing us to learn about ourselves through these shared digital experiences. Stegs has explored these themes in games before as well. My own work often focuses on nostalgia in a light-hearted way. The Blushbox Collective is my side project, so I generally do not make these games for commercial purposes. I see it more like drawing or painting as a hobby. So, having said that, I have worked on a range of games from the casual Pudding Boyfriend, a game about dating footboys, Croissant or Friend was my fave, to other games such as also Lee's a 3D walking simulator, about exploring a world inspired by my memory of 90s internet sites. I have imagined the sites I used to frequent such as Neopets MSN Messenger, Hotmail Yahoo, and others as real physical spaces. Says Stegs. In the game, you can explore and flirt with or interact with the creatures, people in those environments. I have also been working on Nic Cage Himulator, a game where you have accidentally guessed Nic Cage's Hotmail address, and you are going back and forth on the phone with your friend, Becky, about what to say to him. It's a coming-of-age story, which explores teenage development. This works, while appearing light and fun, explore important aspects of life growing up, dating, friendships, and connections, all with disarming stories that can encourage players to feel something about their own thoughts on these subjects, without necessarily meaning to. Their charming nature gets the player to open up within themselves, or feel free to explore more serious feelings, even if the context is light. With Blushbox we have worked on IncorpoREAL Romance Revival Center, a game about dating dead people. Find the love of your life, even if theirs is over, which explores power and control as well as themes of digital online persona and general dystopian future ideas. Says Stegs. Currently I am working on Woblets, working title, with a friend of mine, which is what I am calling an interactive sculpture toy. It's like a Mr. Potato Head game, but all the parts are flashy genitally type things. You can create your own strange sculpture, which will react to things, like shaking and prodding. It generally just flops around. Think of a plumbus. It's a bit like that. Intimacy, love, and sex can often be treated as incredibly serious subjects, which can make players uncomfortable in opening up their feelings about them. Looking at these subjects from different angles, be they lighter or humorous, or through a fiction that lets the player explore the subject from a different angle, can allow an openness in the self that allows them to explore their feelings in ways that feel safe. Stegs work aims to utilize these tools to help players open up about their feelings a bit more, using the framework of these games to feel in ways they might not feel comfortable doing otherwise. Games, in allowing players to live out other lives and control their fates, words, and deeds, seem like a natural place to explore intimacy, but this is not often the case. From Stegs' own observations, not everyone is comfortable exploring these topics through their games, and for various reasons. What makes it so difficult to explore the messiness of human love through a video game format? Stegs asks. Is it that we just have not been trying? Is it that it's too difficult with the technology we have available? All these questions were running through my head and I deep in having conversations about this with a few of my developer friends. Preconceived perceptions of what games can be and do also harms their ability to explore intimacy. Also fair, because people are afraid to be associated with projects that deal with sex in the games industry. She continues. It's strange because most other creative industries would not bat an eyelash. But because games have this perception that they fuck kids, people put their arms up in the air when they present adult themes.